Hey, it's Joe Waxman, and today I wanted to make a video about what's going on with Joe Biden. I want to look at his chart a little bit, his astrology chart, to help us understand some things about what's going on. Now, there seems to be a lot of news, a lot of information coming out about what's going on, a lot of speculation that things aren't what they seem with Joe Biden, with the presidency. Um, I don't really know what the truth is about the situation, but some of the things people are saying is that the inauguration, number one, wasn't live, that it was pre-recorded and that it was shown as live before the live airing on the 20th. Um, some other things, I mean, there's like DC, that how it was, how the like 25,000 troops were there, and it was all fenced off, and that there was an area, there was like an officer saying, "We're here to make the smooth transition to the military." So people are saying that the American corporation has been dissolved, and DC is no longer a part of America. So Joe Biden is president of defunct corporation that is basically DC, and that the military actually controls the United States now. Um, but what's really interesting for me is, I mean, I'm primarily an astrologer, so I look at it from an astrological perspective, is Joe Biden's chart. That's where it gets really interesting. And that's why I think a lot of these things have some credibility. So, I mean, there's so much to, I only briefly just touched upon the subject, like bare minimum, just because I'm not an expert and all that. Like I listen to a lot of it and it all sounds, really interesting and intriguing, but I'm not going to repeat it for you because there are a lot of people out there who can do much better job of that. I just wanted to make a short video about Joe Biden's chart that can back up some of these things. So I'm gonna share my screen here. Okay, so this is Joe Biden. This is his chart. Um, And I'm not going to do a full analysis, but what I am going to do is look at some things that point out some pretty questionable aspects about Joe Biden that would make me think a lot of these things are true, that he's not a real president. He's a fake president. A lot of this is just like for show and whatnot, primarily. And a lot of astrologers would have looked at this, pointed this out. Neptune. Okay, it's in the 11th whole sign house, but 10th house by quadrant, close to the MC. So this is a very, for those of you who are not familiar with astrology, this is the area that would be most publicly visible. This is the area where we would see the career, the MC and 10th house especially, um, the career, the public image, what a person is putting out publicly. And Neptune is, besides Pluto, the outermost planet. It's the outermost big planet. Pluto's considered a dwarf planet. So Neptune is considered a highly spiritual planet. It's a planet of, on one end, uh, deception, lies, confusion, delusion, deceit, drug addiction, dishonesty, um, even insanity, but also creativity. On the higher end, it could be acting. A lot of times we'll see like movies or cinema or, alter egos or false personas, um, storytelling, creativity, like I said, artistry, like you could find like a dancer with a prominent 10th house Neptune, an artist, but what it really is showing here, it's signifying here, is that Joe Biden cannot be trusted. I mean, that's 100%. This is astrology, okay? And it's you can't. He's a liar and he's a fake. And Neptune is the sign of the actor, like you'd expect this from an actor. And so basically, he's playing the role of a president, and everything that comes out of his mouth is just is lines from a movie. He's not an authentic person. He's not an authentic. He'd be an authentic actor, is what he would be. or an authentic artist or an authentic performer, but not an authentic politician. Excuse me. That's Neptune's role. And Neptune has very strong associations also with alcohol and drug addiction. And I think Joe Biden has some illicit things going on, which has destroyed his mind. Okay. Neptune can also indicate somebody who's just completely delusional, right? I don't think Joe Biden really does know what's going on. And his handlers are, whispering in his ear. He's got an earpiece and telling him what to do, telling him what to say. And he's not even fully there. I mean, he's like, repeating some of the things that they're trying to tell him to say. Like they'll say, I think one of them was salute the troops. And he's like, salute the troops, walking by the troops. And he said, salute the troops. Okay, he's supposed to salute the troops. Okay, he's not all there. We know that. He can barely put a sentence together. So the second thing is that his MC, which you would look to know somebody's career, is in Virgo, and the ruler of Virgo is Mercury. Now Mercury is in the 12th house, under the beams of the sun. Mercury is not visible. This is not a guy that's a president. Like, I'm sorry. His career is in the 12th house. That means his career is being invisible. His career relates to 12th house issues, which are which could be isolation and, excuse me, something's bothering my throat. Isolation and disappearing, and could be prisons or hospitals or just temples or creativity or something like that. Like, he's not a public figure. He's an actor, is what he is. 12th house can be relating to acting. It's very Neptunian in its influence, and it's under the beams of the sun, so it's not visible. The guy is just not. He's not presidential material at all. Like Donald Trump is, because Donald Trump is just. He's got his sun and North Node and Uranus right up here. Like, he's so prominent. So it's like, doesn't get more prominent than Donald Trump. Joe Biden, no, like, he should not be president at all. Okay. Like, why is he president? Probably because he has an exalted Jupiter that's trining his sun. Okay. But that's still, that gives him, some strength, some, that's a pretty strong combination, but not for being a president. Okay, he's got a sextile, out of sign sextile with Neptune, so that's probably why he can, fake it, but he's an actor, right? Now, the third thing is that North Node is at 0 degrees Virgo, so it's in the 10th whole sign house, 9th quadrant base, but still influencing the 10th house. North Node is renowned for a kind of overwhelming like appetite, a hunger, a desire to achieve. So he definitely wants public recognition, right? With North Node influencing the 10th house, but North Node is not known for being very righteous or noble. It's win by any means necessary. It's sort of unscrupulous. It's just like, it has to have what it wants, and it's known for being like this. In Vedic lore, it was a head without a body, so it just has this endless appetite. It's just eating. Because it doesn't have any body, it can never be satisfied, right? So it's just eating, endlessly. So it symbolizes kind of like this egoic greed, but it's not trustworthy, and it's actually an eclipse point. So it has this shadowy, malefic side to it. This kind of untrustworthy eclipse, a shadow. Like, it's not real. It's not like an eclipse appears real, but it's just the shadow. So it's like this weird kind of phenomena that creates this unnatural desire and hunger. Interestingly, it's conjunct out of sign, but still conjunct Chiron. Chiron's a reject on the lower end. It's wounded healer. The highest potential is healing, but mostly it's, I mean, for somebody not very evolved, it symbolizes being a reject. And Joe Biden's a reject. He got more dislikes than likes for the inauguration. And so that's pointing to this, a lot of it, because this is still very prominent. I mean, whole sign, it's actually ninth house, but ninth house is still, it's still prominent. The other thing while I'm here is that he has this really weird square. I mean, it's not weird. It's, I mean, squares are normal to the nose with Uranus. Uranus. Uranus deals with shocks, and squares to the nose can be a sticking point, but it can also be like a fated event that happens. And his wife and daughter were killed in an accident, and the descendant definitely relates to partnerships. So Uranus conjunct the descendant talks about his wife, and that it's square the nose shows definitely an accident. Now, some people say he murdered his wife and child because of his satanic involvement in the Masonic order, the Masons. He did it to progress. Somebody said it was the Jesuits, but they're all tied together. I don't really know the details, but that in order to progress in his, you know, satanic religion, he killed his wife and daughter in an accident, and that also his son was a sacrifice too. I don't know. I see it here definitely. Uranus conjunct the descendant is something very odd, especially square the nodes. It shows a fated event dealing with the partner. And so, yeah, I mean, all the stuff that we're seeing about Joe Biden and the delusion of his presidency is very prominent in his chart, both with Neptune and the north node of the eclipse, the north node of the moon, the eclipse point, and Chiron being a reject. So, yeah, I mean, it's really fascinating. Can also, I want to say that maybe there's going to be another accident, but I don't know, and I don't want to put out anything that's not. I don't really don't want anyone else to die. I'm not really for that kind of thing. So I just think this is amazing. So anyway, you know, to all the people who are saying that Joe Biden is not a legitimate president, it kind of looks like that on his chart. I mean, not kind of, it definitely looks like that. I would say he's not a legitimate president at all. So there's that. According to astrology, he is not. He's an actor. So, okay, guys. Well, that's really all I wanted to point out. I thought that was really, you know, considering what everyone's saying about Joe Biden and then looking at his chart, I think it's really, really interesting. So, all right. Hang in there, guys. We'll get through this. Freedom will be ours. Okay. Take care.